are creators and everyone watching today's live stream. Welcome to my regular subscribers and to you silent listeners. And if you're new here and you want to learn about YouTube, video and everything to do with YouTube, do not go anywhere. Subscribe for weekly content to learn more about video and YouTube. So let's crack on with the show. There's going to be loads of things I want to talk about today. Mainly in this video I'm going to be looking at cameras and more specifically camera deals to help you out if you're thinking of upgrading your phone. We'll be looking at a few cameras, and obviously as a creator you're obviously going to be thinking about mics and lights, so we're just going to have a look later on about them. And also I've got an awesome tip for you if you're one of those people that needs a new computer for video editing. So do not go anywhere, we've got a lot to get through. Let's crack on. So here we are, Cam 2. Hello, bring on the value. You silent listeners, feel free to join in. If you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, but let's just crack on with the show. So basically, you're looking to upgrade your phone. That's obviously why you're here. And the first pick of the day, and my favourite camera, the camera that I use every week, and for those of you that watch every week, you're thinking, oh, here we go, is the Canon M50. What a camera. This camera is absolutely amazing. I do have it, it's on the side of the studio, but you can see here, so let's have a brief look at it. At the moment, it's £600, which in American or Canadian, etc., would be about $650, something like that. Bear in mind, on Amazon, it changes on a daily basis, so, you know, look out for that. And this is actually the first one, the one I've got. And the reason why I'm clicking on this as my #1 pick still here in 2020, 2021 even, is because now the M50 has technically been replaced by the M50 Mark II, which is about £50, $50 or $60 more, and the basis difference really is you get a clean HDMI for live streaming. So for those of you streaming, you content creating about streaming, that's something to think about. Obviously you can still stream with the first M50 with a USB cable or just by tinkering around with the settings, but just bear in mind it'll just be a little bit easier on the Mark II. And the only other real change is they've just made the features a bit more user friendly. But on the whole, it's pretty much the same camera. It has the same awesome lens, the 15-45, fantastic lens. Obviously, you can interchange lenses. And what I love about this camera, actually, if we can just find you a better picture, which is quite irritating because it's not showing you. But if you could see this screen on the back, the screen flips around, which is an absolutely brilliant advantage for you content creators who will be filming yourselves, so you can flip out the camera lens. Let's see if I can just go on to Google quickly, just bear with me, and we can just see if we can find a better picture for you guys at the speed of light. Go Dave, go Dave. So let's just click on this picture. So as you can see, can we go quicker? No, it's going to get well scared, right? So if you can just see this picture here. So as you can see, it's a really small camera. So it's not too big. It's easy to carry around. It has a fantastic flip screen, which is a touch screen as well. And that just makes it really easy. So, you know, when you're recording on, say, your phone, for example, you can see exactly what you're doing. And that's just something to think about. What I love about this, you can interchange the lenses, which is fantastic. And another thing to think about, is you can actually get an adapter. So if you've got an old lens hanging around, as long as you've got the right connection, you can use an old lens, or that opens you up to literally much more lenses on the market. So that's something to bear in mind. And also with the Canon M50 and the Canon M50 Mark II, they have an audio jack. That's massively important. So if you're filming outdoors, or if you just want better sound, now it does have an internal microphone, but if you want better sound on the whole, then you want to think about that jack. So later on, or you know, a little later, you can get yourself an external microphone, either a shotgun mic that clips on the top. Let's see if there's any examples of that. So basically this is a good picture, so you can get yourself an external shotgun mic on the top. There's your flip screen, you can see it, you can change your lenses, whatever lens you want, and get it in white and black, doesn't really matter. And that's basically the basis of what you need to know. There's so much more you could go into, but perhaps that's another video, and I do have a link to that. After this live stream, I actually have 2 links that could help you with setting up your lighting and your sound. So check out those links after this live stream, they're in the description, check them out later on. And if you're getting value from today's video, smash that like button and consider subscribing if you want to learn more about YouTube and video on a weekly basis. And just briefly, if you want to support any of your favorite content creators, me or anyone that you like on YouTube, just by watching their content from start to end is a massive help. Now, just to bear in mind the differences in prices, at the moment there's about £100 difference or just over $100 difference depending on what part of the world you're in. And, you know, I'll be brutally honest, if my M50 died, I probably would get the M50 Mark II. That's just me. But if I was a bit short money or didn't quite want to spend that money, I would perhaps just buy another M50 because, like I just said, there's pretty much not in it. Now, something you might want to bear in mind is you can get ones with a few extra features. So, well, I say features, gadgets, say, so extra caps or extra batteries. I'd highly recommend a couple of batteries with whatever camera you get. And that's something to bear in mind. Now, you can see these sort of pockets of gadgets. I can't think of the word live. It's I've been Dumbledored the word. But basically, you can get really cool sets that come with different lenses, different filters, a bag, a basic SD card. Let's just have a look at that, see if it's worth it. I personally wouldn't bother with that, but you know, that could be a good one to start off with. A basic tripod, would perhaps look at them briefly later on. That's something to bear in mind. And let's just have a brief look. Hey, here he is. Hello, Binge-Worthy Gaming. Welcome. So yeah, so I basically would say that that's something to bear in mind. Obviously, you're talking extra 200 quid, but just bear in mind that if you was to buy one of these lenses separately, they can be £200 or £300 more. So let's just for argument's sake, let's just click on M50 lenses. You know, £200, almost £300. That'd be about $350. You know, that's almost $350. That's a very good lens. 500. So you get the point. So maybe getting an M50 with a couple lenses could actually be a really good deal. So that's something to bear in mind. And you can always get a better tripod or a more high performance SD card. Let's just briefly look at what SD card I would personally recommend. I reckon personally you don't need any more than 32, you could go 64, and I would get something like that perhaps, the Ultra one, 120 megabits per second, 32, or the one that's gold, which I believe is the Extreme one, something like that, which would be brilliant. That's the type of SD card I use on a weekly basis. But if you want to get 128 gig or, you know, as big as you want, obviously it costs more, but for under a tenner, which would be, you know, that's, you know, dirt cheap, isn't it really? That'd be, I don't know, $12, something like that. So bear that in mind, and that's something to bear in mind. And a lot of things I'll be talking about today, I do have affiliate links in the description if you'd like to check them out as we're talking about it. Feel free to open up another browser as we're talking or after the video. So just bear that in mind. So that's really cool. That's something to bear in mind. Now, obviously, we're talking about cameras mainly, so let's get through that. Now, another camera you might want to consider is the Sony ZV-1. I can never say that for some reason. And this is a very good camera. It does cost a little bit more than the M50, but this is something that a lot of people are talking about. It's very good for live streaming. It has a very good external mic, which comes with, as you can see in the picture, a really nice windbreak. So that's really good if you're filming outdoors, if you're a blogger, for example. Bear in mind, I believe it does have a mic jack, so you can get an external microphone as well, which is good. It does have a flip screen, which is also good. So people are thinking, oh, this is good competition here. The only thing it lacks really is it has a fantastic lens, but it's not quite as wide as the 15 is on the M50, and you can't change the lens. So if you down the line you want to buy yourself an extra lens, you can't do that. And personally, when you're spending $600-700 plus on a camera, really, me personally, I would want a camera where, you know, if I want to, I can at least change the lens at a later date. But you know, if you're not bothered about that, and you know, apparently the contrast that the lens produces is absolutely superb for blogging, outdoor filming. So by no, you know, means of the imagination, is it not a good lens? It's a fantastic lens. And if you're not bothered about different lenses, you think, you know what, I can play with that, that's fine. This could be the camera for you. Now, if you're not bothered about, obviously as a content creator, you want a mic jack, but if you're not massively, you know, you just think, you know what, Dave, I'm just going to do a bit of blogging, I want to take pictures, I want to make YouTube videos, but at the moment I'm not too bothered about sound. I personally would go against that. But you might want to look at something like Canon M50 of the Canon M200. So this is a bit cheaper. And what's really good about this, actually, it doesn't have the mic jack, so please bear that in mind. But apart from that, it does have a viewfinder, but I personally don't care about that. But apart from that, it's very similar to the M50. It has a turn screen, it pops up at the top, which is cool. It sort of flops out the top. You can interchange the lenses with an adapter. You can put literally any Canon lens on it you want. Without an adapter, there's plenty of smaller lenses you can buy. And it has the same kit lens as the M50, the 15-45. So that's a really good wide angle lens if you're doing blogging, you just want to get a nice shot indoors or wherever you're filming. So that is a very good camera if you don't want to quite spend as much as perhaps the newer M50 Mark II, for example. And actually, if you went on eBay or even Amazon Marketplace, you could probably get yourself a good deal, but I would highly stress just make sure that if you do go on Marketplace or eBay, just make sure they have loads of positive reviews, which I'm sure you will do because you guys rock. But just bear that in mind, because I don't want anyone buying something that's rubbish. So I don't want that for you guys. But this is a camera I would recommend. Perhaps if you've already got an M50 like myself, this is something I keep playing with the ideas of doing. This actually replaced the Canon M100. There goes my phone. I forgot to put it on silent. Wow. And what I would say about that is probably almost as good as the M200, the Canon M100, and you could probably get a really good deal on a second-hand one on eBay, for example. And what I would say about that is you might want to use it for B-roll. You might just think, you know what, I just want to take a few pictures. I want to get some B-roll of my main camera. Because I've had quite a few, especially over the last few months, where I've really wanted to take a picture of me with my M50, and it's just been quite difficult because I've just felt my phone isn't quite good enough or whatever. Or, as a content creator, especially if you're a content creator, I'm sure you'll appreciate that, you can't be, as good as our phones are nowadays, and some of you probably have amazing phones, you can't be just filming or taking pictures on a camera. Even in 2021, you can't beat a proper camera. You just can't. Let's see if anyone else in the live chat. Hello, Brad. Hey, he's back full of value. If you've only just joined us, let's just go to Cam 1 a moment. Let's just mix it up. So if you only just joined us or if you're new here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. And if you want to support the brand, watch any of our videos from start to end, or check out our merch and get free mugs, t-shirts. Link again is in the description. Go check it out. And you know what? If you're getting value, get your drink. It's Friday, for goodness sake. Value. Now I've only got water in a minute, let down. But I'll tell you what, I will be opening up the beers later on. There you go. Right, let's just see if anything. Okay, wicked. So yeah, so basically, I would highly recommend, if you don't want to go full blast, but you want something that's really cool, I'd highly recommend the Canon M200 or the even the older M100. Get a cheap one on eBay, but again, just be careful. A camera I did actually think of getting, if you want. Now we've been looking. So I don't think I've said this. We've been looking at mirrorless cameras, which is basically like the next gen. A brief history, if you think way back 100 years ago, you basically had two mirrors, and then for the last forever, we've had sort of SLRs, which basically just a single reflex lens. And then really recently, the last sort of 3 or 4 years, companies like Canon and Sony, etc., have started making mirrorless cameras, which basically just means they can make them even smaller. So we've been looking at mirrorless cameras. So if you're a bit old school or you want something a bit bigger, something that's more that sort of size, that behind me, you might want to go with, and actually that's a really good deal that I've just clicked on. If you want a proper size, what I'd call a normal size SLR, digital SLR, I would highly recommend the Canon 250. And this one is a great deal for under $800, so that would be over $800. But bear in mind, this is a fantastic camera, which is probably just as good as the M50. It records in HD and 4K, I believe, and this comes with two lenses. It comes with an 18-55 and a 70-300. So you bear in mind, you know, one of these lenses would probably cost $300-400 each. That's a pretty good deal, to be fair. And it has a flip screen, and it might, you know, if you've got bigger hands or you just want a bigger camera, that might be what you want. And obviously you don't have to worry about adapters. That's something else to bear in mind. So you can just interchange lenses, or if you've got an old lens hanging around. I've got a 300mm, I think it's like, is it 50-300? Anyway, and I've got on my old camera, which was a 1300D, which is basically just an entry level camera really, being replaced now by the 2000 and the 4000D. But we can briefly look at them. But this is still this is a great camera for you content creators if you want to, you know, you're doing your videos or making films or doing blogs, or, you know, if you just want something a bit more meaty. And again, it has a really nice clip on the top, so you can put your shotgun mic on the top. It has it's not shown in the picture, but it does have a mic jack. So, you know, this would, you know, it looks cool, it's nice, a bit bigger. So just bear that in mind. Costs a bit more, but, you know, in my personal opinion, paying for what you get. And something else all of us should bear in mind is, you know, if you're a full-blown pro, you probably don't need this video in the nicest possible way. But if you've got a full-blown pro camera, you're talking thousands. So, you know, you put that into sort of perspective. You know, if you was to go with the top of the line Canon or Sony or whatever, you're talking $3 or $4 grand easy, and that's without buying lenses. So, you know, bear that in mind. You know, if anyone thinks, oh, that's a lot of money, so just bear that in mind. So this is still really like for us content creators, or if you still like, this is your first sort of camera purchase, if you will, or if you just want something that doesn't cost the earth. I mean, I personally think that you don't have to spend the earth to get good quality. You know, there's more and more content creators that are using their phones to make fantastic videos, so bear that in mind. And look, actually, this actually makes perfect sense. Before we go on, for you video bloggers, it's actually being marketed at you guys, and this comes with a mini tripod, a bag. It says, sorry, an extra and a camera shotgun microphone. Apparently it comes with a microphone, if I've read that right, but I can't see that. You'll have to read on the details. So I've got really itchy nose. What's that about? Someone's talking about me. I've got a hay fever. Apologise. But you know, just look around for these deals, and bear in mind prices literally, and this is no exaggeration, they change on a daily basis. So maybe watch it for a week or two and just see if you get a really good deal one day. It might knock down by £100 or whatever. So just bear that in mind. So anyways, they're the cameras, and obviously as a content creator, let's briefly look at microphones and lighting. And I'll see, I get asked quite a bit actually, is what would you recommend as a good microphone? I'm going to be honest. Obviously it depends what you're doing, but just for videos, weekly videos, you know, you just want a better microphone on your phone. Let's type in, this is what I would highly recommend. I think there's a link to this again in my description. I'll just put clip on, I can never read the actual big word. Something like this. This is literally all you need. So just get a little clip on mic, has a really nice windbreak. It has red or black, whatever colour you want. I think the red looks quite cool actually. It has an actual different adapter, depending if you've got slightly different jacks on your phone or camera. But obviously the initial one should work in most people's phones, or your camera especially. And just bear in mind, obviously, if you have an Apple, you have to get the little adapter that will plug into that. But I'm sure you probably know that. If you don't, you do now. And just bear in mind, actually, a little tech tip I would share with you guys, actually, is if I found, I don't know why, I don't know if I've just done it wrong or whatever, but I found, as good as they are clipped on you, I found if you can get a second tripod and clip on top of a tripod and just have them slightly out of shot, they produce absolutely brilliant sound. When you think they cost a tenner, £10, $10, whatever, roughly. That's literally, no offence, that's like, I don't know, if you went on Amazon Prime or whatever and bought a film that you'll probably watch once, and for literally probably a bit less than that, you're buying a little bit of equipment that's going to make your sound of your video sound so much better. And the audio, sorry guys, but the audio is 50% your video, and people can sometimes let slide if it's not the best video sometimes, or you haven't quite got the lighting right. But if you've got good sound, people will like, you know what, this sounds good, it's interesting, it's giving me value. So bear that in mind. So that is my tip on microphones, but we will have a brief look on shotgun mics. I have a few. Again, I've purposely not spent the earth. I've literally just got a £20 shotgun mic, something like this. I've literally got something like this. I've got one here which this has that puts in AA batteries just because I find them easier to buy. But obviously it's up to you. And again, this is £18 at the moment. I believe I have a link to this in the description or something similar. I found a few different mics actually, because obviously I will be honest, the more you spend on the mic is better sound quality. But again, a lot of my videos, I do mix and match it just to keep it interesting for myself. I would say the audio on this isn't quite, bear in mind it's twice the price, isn't quite as good as the clip-on mic unless you're really close. But you've got the windbreak, so if you're recording outside, it's a fantastic thing. And it's just easier, you can clip on top of your camera, or you might want to get like a little frame and have your phone inside it. Or you can get an extender cable, connect it onto a tripod, and you've got like a portable microphone, you know, like when I do the interviews on the news and stuff. So bear that in mind. And that's literally £20. And obviously you can spend as much as you want. And again, I would look at the reviews. So if I was going to get a more expensive one, I would probably get something that's quite a bit more, but they are considered the best ones. I'd probably try something like this. These are the, you probably if you're a content creator, you probably recognise this make as a microphone a lot of content creators use, and £50 a minute just over. So that's something I would probably recommend for something you want to think if you just want a bit better crisp sound of audio, about £50. And obviously, if you can spend as much as you want. And I personally, but this thing else I want you to bear in mind, more and more people are watching your content on their phone, and with the best phones in the world, they don't all have, let's face it, they don't have the best sound in the world. They sound good and they're getting better all the time, but it's nowhere near as good as like your home cinema system, is it? Let's face it. Or anywhere as near as loud. So for most people, just the cheap clip-on mic or shotgun mic will sound perfectly fine, and it will sound definitely better than just using an internal microphone on either your phone or camera, and you get that noise. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, let's see if there's any questions. Ooh, okay. I was surprised yesterday that paranormal activity style video was recommended to me from you. Did you know you had fun skills and didn't know you had fun? Oh, you're on about the paranormal activity film that I made. Yes, I made a film called Condemned with a couple of good friends of mine a few years ago now. Hey, hello Poultry Patch, welcome to the show. Yeah, I did a really cool, I hope they don't mind me saying, they didn't actually like it. We enjoyed making it, but I don't know, anyway, but I really enjoyed it, and it's one of my most watched videos. It's back when I used to make 1 or 2 films every year. For those of you newer, I used to make like a little short film or a couple of short films, and I just wanted to make a whole one short, and I thought it'd just be really cool to do that style of film. And I thought it was really good, and I had a lot of fun making it and editing it. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, if you want to see any of my, I haven't got all of them on there, but because obviously when you're a teenager and in your 20s, you use moves that you can't use and all that malarkey. So a lot of them aren't posted. But if you would like to watch a few of my films, I do have a playlist to them in my channel. Hey, so yeah, bear that in mind. Okay, we're going off track a little bit, but yeah, I hope that was helpful. Boom, boom, boom. Right. So, if this is your first time here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that's interesting to you, subscribe now. So we're just going to have a brief look at lighting, and then I want to give you a really cool tip on how you, camera 2, how you could get a cheap computer. So if you're looking at lighting then, I found webcams, it's hard to light them. I've had to use like my house light, but I do have a really good floodlight. Let's just put light in and see what comes up. So I use a couple of these. These are brilliant lights to make my backing sound more interesting. I've tried to use them as sort of film lights, but I wouldn't really use them for that. I personally think they look better just in the background to make the background look more visually interesting for you guys. But if you want a proper light, I would highly recommend getting yourself one or two of these, and I believe I've got a link to these in the description as well. These are brilliant brand. I've got two of them. I only need one because my studio is quite small, and when I'm doing my proper videos with my M50, these give off a really nice natural light that the lens loves. It just makes the video look really professional, and they literally cost, you know, this for two, it costs just over £70, which would be, I don't know, $80 or whatever. And you know, that is just a brilliant purchase, and you don't have to buy two and get one for probably half that, and you can always buy another one later on. And they are brilliant. They just make video look so much better, so especially if you're using a camera or your phone. I found as well with your camera on your phone, it looks really good. If you've got me on Instagram or Twitter, you'll notice that some of my pictures, the ones that look a bit more pro looking, I've used my floodlight, and it just gives box light, sorry, and it just gives a really nice natural light. It has these big bulbs, lamps that you can buy later on. I mean, to be honest, I've got a couple of spares. I've not even got past the first one yet, and I must have been using it now for a year or two. So just bear in mind, so for lighting, and I would even recommend one of these. I made a film a while ago, actually, or a few videos about lighting. And even if you buy a window with natural light from the sun, I found you sometimes get a bit of darkness on the other side, and you can just use one of these just to brighten it up a bit, and it just is really good. And again, I've got a really good video about how to light the mood. There's a link to that in my description. It's just a video that I made about just how to make lighting look a bit more interesting, just give you a bit of guidance on that. If that's something that might be helpful, go and check it out. Value. So yeah, so that's something I would highly recommend. Now, dun dun dun! If you have any questions, put them in the questions, or if you want something on a replay, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. Now, if you want well, I'm not going to say cheap because they're not cheap, but if you want a good, reliable editing computer, I personally love Dell. I'm sorry if you don't like Dell, but I love Dell, and I always put in XPS. Now, a lot of you probably like laptops. They do cost over £1,000. But I do find, it's going to make me look to be a liar now, but I do find that you get, they're cheaper and you get more for your money from a desktop. Now, I appreciate more of you content creators probably just prefer laptops, and that's fine. But I found if you buy Dell through Amazon tend to have boxes of them that they've had delivered from Dell. You buy it, and because obviously Amazon literally like send it to you the next day, it's just brilliant delivery way in the nicest possible way. I love Dell to pieces. Love you. Bought loads of your computers, but the nicest one in the world. Sometimes for whatever reason you get scared over delivery and don't always, you know, you sometimes have to wait a while. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Sort it out. But if you get a Dell through Amazon, they have them already there, and most of you will probably know that if you buy on Amazon, you literally get it as quick as you want it. But anyway, what I tend to recommend is wait for a model that's maybe just about to be replaced. This is probably not the best example because they've just replaced their line. But I got one for about $700, which would be about $750, $800. And it's probably a little bit less than this, but roughly this spec. So I got an i5, this is what I'm using to stream off now. I got an i5. I got 8 gigs of RAM when this is 16. I got a static drive, which I think was about the same, and I also got an old-fashioned drive which I can install the stuff on, and I got a really good graphic card with it, and that's for about half the price of this one's selling for. So just bear that in mind. So if you know, just keep an eye on it, and you know, I would say an i5, i7. You know, if you look around that sort of range, and it's just a little brief tip. If you want to have more detail on that, I do have a video on that again, so go and check out my channel. But I would just highly recommend just looking out there. But if you don't want to buy a Dell, you can go on the eBay or Amazon and or just buy a gaming computer, or do what I did last weekend. I actually built my own. First time ever built my own computer. Round of applause to me. I'm so proud of myself. I made my own computer for the first time, something I've always wanted to do and absolutely loved doing it. So let's see what's going on in the chat. So let's get into question time. We can look at anything specific if you want. You guys rock. Just before I answer the questions, if you're new here, Feel free to like and subscribe if you want weekly content and learn more about video and YouTube. And if this is definitely your first time here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. Right, let's go to main cam. Oh yes, so let's have a look at what's going on. I love Dave's accent. Thank you, Poultry Patch. Sorry, I'm on this camera now. Thank you. I must admit, this sounds really daft, but I do find, sorry, Canadians and American. I know that's like saying Scottish and English. But I do find, sorry, you're American, sorry. I do find that we love each other's accents. That's basically what I'm getting at. Us English, we love the American accent, and the Americans love the English accent. It's I don't know, it's just one of those things about life. And I love your accent as well. I think it's awesome. I don't know what I was getting at there. That was completely tongue twisted. But yeah, thank you. What's up, Poultry Back? Cool. There are an exact spotlights. Oh, there you go then. So you know from personal experience, Poultry Patch, how good those lights are. I use them on every week on my Tuesday videos because I absolutely love them. I think they're brilliant, and they are brilliant. I've seen my friend Perry, who's a musician, go and check them out. He sometimes has them in the background to sort of, give it like a stage feel. And there's all sorts you can stuff. If you film from the top, it makes you look creepy, or if you do them, from the front and sides, I don't know. It just looks so much better, doesn't it? It just looks so much more professional, and all that jazz, really. Okay, sorry. If I had Dave's accent, my channel would be literally better. Oh, don't be silly, binge-worthy gaming, man. Your accent's wicked. Honestly, I love your gaming channel. If you're anyone that's here interested in games, go and check out binge-worthy gaming. I love his channel. I think you're going to do well. I think you're going to grow, and I generally do think that you potentially have a really good channel. And I say potentially, it's already good, but I think it's just going to grow. I think it's a really good channel. And the same with Poultry Patch. I think your channel's brilliant. I love all the products you're sharing, your personality. Both of you both just have really nice personalities that people can just connect with. It's just really nice to see, and without sounding like I'm rubbing up to you, I honestly think both of you people are just generally really nice people, and I think any half normal person, whatever normal is, can see that you're both nice people, and they will love your channel, and they will connect with you, and that makes what you talk about far more interesting because you're both cool people. So give you two people a round of applause and carry on doing what you do. So yeah, so don't put yourselves down, otherwise I'll fly over to America. Oh dear. Sorry, there's more comment. Hang on. Blah blah blah. Sorry, softbox. Hang on. Right, softbox lights are good for YouTubers. I have a USB. Yeah, it's cool. Use what you have. If you're just using your phone, webcam, you've got a plug-in USB light. Use what you got, and the best light, the best microphone, the best camera is what you have right now. So bear that in mind. Binge with gaming accent work. I want a cool accent. Mine is just kind of. No, it's great. You've both got cool accents. Stop. Oh dear, Savvy. Time ago when I got my softbox lights, they were only about 40 quid, and they seriously took my channel to... Yeah, and that's what I meant earlier about check the price before you buy them, because with anything you buy, especially online, the price changes all the time. It really does. 1 minute it can be 50 quid, the next $50, the next minute it could be $100, the next day it could be $40. Do you know what I mean? So just what I would say, especially if you're buying something that's a bit more expensive, if you don't already. If you do already, just RBF what I'm about to say. Watch it for a couple of weeks and just get a gist of like what the lowest, the middle and the highest prices is, and then as soon as you get it sort of middle or low, think right, that's the day I'll buy it. That's what I'll say about that. Me and my accent. Thanks, Dave. You can call me Pouchy. can call you Pouchy. Okay, I'll call you Pouchy. I can live with that. I've got a rubbish memory, so you might have to remind me. Hello, Sounds of Portugal. Welcome back. Hello, welcome. Oh, you're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Hi, guys. Hey, Sounds of Welcome, welcome, welcome. Call me Nana. Hello. Lena, sorry. Thanks, Dave. Hey. Hello, welcome. So there we go. If you've got any YouTube questions or questions about video, feel free to put them in the comments. If you watch this on the replay or just after the live stream goes off air, feel free to comment your questions in the comments below. And later on tonight or over the weekend or whenever I see them, I will do my best to answer you best I can. And next week, I've been trying to alternate a bit. So next week, I will do a topic more specific to YouTube, and we'll talk about that. So bear that in mind. So check us out next Friday. Obviously, there'll be a new video on Tuesday, 7 o'clock, sort of London, UK time, whatever you want to call it. Greenwich time, there you go. So that's about 6 or 7 hours ahead of you guys. And I will probably do a mini shorts at some point over the weekend because that's just how I roll. I'll probably film some more videos, and there you go. So there. Anyway, I'm rocking on now. So if you've got any questions, generally put them in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, just watch our content. I'll be brutally honest. If you've got value from today's video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Start drinking some value. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you got value from today's video. And again, if you have any YouTube or video questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much. You guys are the TVR universe. You guys are the content creators of YouTube. Let's keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a bit of homework now. Take one thing that you think you're struggling with or something you feel you could do a bit better on. If it's your thumbnails, lighting, audio, editing, concentrate on that one specific thing in your next video and do that every video if you can, and you'll see your content gradually get better and better and better. DaVinci Resolve, yes, that's a very good editing software. I've only briefly been on that, Pouchy. A is a very good pro software, and I believe it's a free version to that as well. Have you here? Love to know more about good editing computers. Yep, I will definitely do a video. I do have a sort of video on that, but perhaps that could be a video I could do at some point. Yes, the DaVinci Resolve is brilliant. Canon 1300D. Yeah, I had the 1300D. It is a good camera, especially for photos. But personally, I would probably recommend you get a more expensive lens with it. But if you think upgrade, I would probably go with the 250D if you like the size of that, or just get the Canon M50 for, save up for a bit extra money. And because it's just a bit smaller, and I'll be honest, it just takes far better pictures and video. So just bear that in mind. And I think the 1300D, which I also have, been replaced by the 2000 and the 4000D. Both good cameras, and they're about the same as the 1300D. But if you already got the 1300D, just leave it. What do you think? Yeah, so what I personally, I would save up and get the Canon M50. And if you don't want to quite spend as much as the M50 Mark II, get the M50, because still in 2021, it's an amazing camera. I'm not just saying that. It's a bit smaller, it's nice and light, it's got a nice turn screen so you can see what you're doing, photo or video. You can interchange the lens like you can with any camera. But it has a really good mic jack, so you can put external microphones in it, which you can't do with the 1300D. And also bear in mind, it's just a brilliant camera. It comes with a fantastic kit lens, which honestly, when you first get it, you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And obviously later down the road, you can buy the lenses for it, and it's just a great camera. So if you want my camera recommendation, any of you, the Canon M50. And if you don't want to get the Canon M50 Mark II, just get the Mark I. Simple as that. I've got linked to both of them in my description. Hang on, bear with me. What do you think? There was a second-hand price. Yeah, and you can get them second-hand. I think Canon sell the M50s for about $400, which would be about $450. You could probably go on eBay again. Make sure the sellers have good reviews before you buy them, because I don't want you guys to get rubbish, get ripped off or whatever. But you could probably get a M50 for about $450, something like that. And just look around. You never know. You might go into a bid and war and get a cheap deal. Let us know how you get on. Check out the pocket. It's much better in price than any car. No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so yeah, go and check out the Canon 50. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Honestly, brilliant camera. I do like the GoPros. I must admit, I've not used a GoPro yet. But they're really good for outdoors. They do take really good filming. And I've seen some videos recently of people using them for live streams as well. So I have been considering them. And they are quite cheaper. But I personally would still say the M50. It's just a great all-round camera. Because you've got to bear in mind, if you had the money to go full out and get a really over-the-top camera, you're talking $3 or $4 grand, $3,000 or $4,000 or pounds. That's a lot of money, isn't it, for any normal person? So I would definitely say the M50 for sort of between between 5 and 600, or a second-hand one for about 400. So definitely the Canon 50. Yep, hope that was helpful. Anyway, I want to leave you guys now. I love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and the interaction has been great. It's really nice connecting with you guys, as you guys are the TVR universe. Again, if you have any more questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to carry on these conversations with you guys. I'm now going to love you and leave you. Have a great weekend. Watch my video on Tuesday. Join us next Friday, and have a great weekend. As always, guys, come on, let's do it together now. Come on. Let's get some enthusiasm going. You guys, come on. You know what to say. You guys rock.